Hello, my name is Micheline Cormier, and I'm a registered and licensed dietitian in the DC area. Today we will discuss the topic of obesity and Mexican American children in El Paso, Texas. We'll start with an overview of childhood obesity, providing a definition, key statistics, and consequences. Then we'll cover lifestyle behaviors that increase their obesity risk. We'll also discuss some obesity determinants specific to this population, review potential interventions that could be adapted to mitigate childhood obesity in El Paso, and provide final recommendations on the next steps to take. As the saying goes, everything is bigger in Texas. Cows and bulls have horns that are 100 inches from tip to tip. Oil rigs are as big as 2 football fields. Families have many members. And even Big Tex, who greets you at the state fair, measures 55 feet high. However, with all this grandeur comes big obesity problems. Texas ranks 12th in the U.S. for youth obesity rate. By 2040, it is estimated to cost the great state of Texas $39 billion annually to treat obesity. Body mass index, or BMI, is a relationship of height to weight. In children, obesity is defined as having a BMI on the growth chart at the 95th percentile or greater. In the U.S., childhood obesity has more than doubled in the last 30 years. 1 in 5 kids currently has obesity, and the problem's even more serious in Texas. In 2015, almost 1 in 4 children in South Texas had obesity, and in El Paso, nearly 1 in 5 children were already obese in 2005. The prevalence is estimated to be higher today and exceed the national and Texas averages. As we see, childhood obesity is a major public health concern. Childhood obesity often leads to adult obesity. It's also health altering, increasing the risk for chronic diseases like diabetes, heart disease, and even depression, which are the leading causes of premature death and reduced quality of life. Finally, it's costly. Obese children incur extra lifetime medical costs. For example, there's an estimated additional price tag of $19,000 per obese child, which totals $14 billion annually based on the prevalence of 10-year-old obese children. El Paso is an urban city on the Texas-Mexico border. It's highly populated by Hispanics of Mexican heritage, significantly impacted by poverty or low-income conditions and food insecurity, factors associated with obesity risk. For example, more than 80% of individuals are Hispanic of Mexican heritage. 1 in 5 live in poverty. Almost a third of families are single-parent households. Almost 2/3 receive SNAP benefits, which is higher than the national average. And 1 in 5 children live with food insecurity, 5% higher than the national average. Finally, 3/4 of the youth participate in the National School Lunch and Breakfast Program. The city's education profile also influences obesity risk. In El Paso, less than 50% of the population has graduated from high school. This is significant because a study shows a 0.15 reduction in BMI with each additional year of schooling. Now, how does this affect the Mexican American children? Well, obesity is on the rise in El Paso, with Hispanic children at more than double the risk compared to non-Hispanic white children. For example, in 2005, 35% of 4th grade Hispanic boys were obese compared to 15% of non-Hispanic white children. Obesity is also more significant in urban areas with less access to outdoor activities and in individuals with low income and less education, variables we have previously discussed. Mexican American children eat a diet high in simple sugars and starches like tortillas, often exceeding their energy needs. They also have a higher odd of drinking sugary beverages, which is significant because drinking 3 or more soft drinks per day is linked to higher BMI, more body fat, and a higher risk of being overweight or obese. They're also less active and fit. For example, only 60 to 69% of children in El Paso pass the National Aerobic Fitness Test. The causes of obesity are unclear. However, weight gain results from an imbalance between energy consumed and caloric expenditure. Additionally, external factors like geographical location, culture, and socioeconomic status also impact obesity risk. Consequently, it is a multifactorial disease. According to the socio-ecological model, internal and external factors impact childhood obesity. For example, BMI is influenced by the child's behaviors and family, community, organizational, and policy enabling environments. Child behaviors include dietary intake, physical activity, and ethnicity, which we have just reviewed, as well as sedentary behaviors and screen time. The parent environment include economic status, a parent's nutritional knowledge and weight status, home access to healthy foods and beverages, and social media access and usage. There's a strong association between income and childhood obesity. Children with low income are twice as likely to be obese, and low food secure and very low food secure adolescents are 1.5 times more likely to have central obesity. Nutrition literacy also impacts obesity by impacting food purchases and preparation, as well as the foods parents restrict or allow. It can also shape the concept of obesity. For example, in Hispanic culture, an overweight or gordito child is often seen as a happy child. Consequently, parents might not recognize obesity in their children due to different norms and beliefs. Finally, 36% of adults in El Paso are overweight, which is 6% above the national average. This statistic is alarming because a heavy parent increases the likelihood of a heavy child. The community environment includes accessibility to parks and recreational facilities, a healthy food landscape, and community parenting classes. El Paso is a safe urban center with trails and parks available to the general public. However, adults do not meet the exercise recommendations. As a result, it's not surprising that children are also less active and fit. The food landscape includes all establishments that sell food. In El Paso, 95% of adults buy staples at the grocery store, while 16% regularly buy meals at fast food or restaurants. This is concerning because foods eaten outside the home are typically less nutritious, more energy dense, and provide larger portions, contributing to obesity. Finally, food parenting courses customized to Hispanic parents with low income are linked to higher quality diets, which could reduce obesity risk. The organizational environment includes the National School Lunch, Summer Meal, and School Physical Education program. Participating in the school lunch program increases fruit and vegetable intake, especially in those with low income, food insecurity, and at risk for obesity. Likewise, the summer meal program could provide the same health and nutritional preventative measures. Finally, regular exercise can help control weight. In El Paso, physical education classes are offered to children from K through 8th grade. The school district also partners with local establishments to offer additional exercise and meditation courses. Policies that affect childhood obesity include WIC, SNAP, and the food labeling regulations. In particular, WIC and SNAP can help address food insecurity, encourage healthy eating habits, and help mitigate childhood obesity. The food labeling laws also help ensure that accurate nutrition information is available to consumers so they can make informed and healthy choices. WIC and SNAP professionals can help educate on how to effectively use this information to help reduce obesity risk. Interventions have addressed childhood obesity with significant outcomes. For example, the Anvil study was a 10-week community-based and promotora-led intervention targeting children of Mexican heritage. Given the importance of promotoras in the Hispanic culture, this approach increased engagement and most likely impacted the success of the intervention. Key findings indicated a significant increase in fruit and vegetable intake with a decrease in added sugars and screen time. The Networks was a 3-year community-based randomized control trial targeting low-income children. This time, there was a significant decrease in energy intake and BMI in both Hispanic and overweight and obese children. Finally, the Web ABC study was an 8-month web-based intervention targeting Chinese American youth. This type of intervention is an effective and cost-efficient approach that reduces participation barriers, and in this case, it significantly decreased waist-to-hip ratio and increased physical activity and fruit and vegetable intake. These concepts could easily be adapted to target the Mexican children of El Paso. In the end, an overarching, multi-component intervention might be the most successful approach to use in El Paso. Accordingly, a community and school-based intervention using promotoras and focusing on overweight and obese Mexican American children of elementary school age is recommended to help increase physical activity levels and fruit and vegetable intake, decrease screen time, and added sugars in the effort to mitigate childhood obesity in El Paso. Sometimes it really does take a village to raise a healthy child. The task is challenging but not unsurmountable. Together, we can coordinate the resources and align them to reduce childhood obesity and keep Texas strong and healthy. Thank you for listening.